Yeah, of course, we love talking about money because money is an oxygen of everything. Money is oxygen of everything in a sense that is a tool that you can use to nearly get everything you need. So if we don't talk about money as adults, what should we be talking about? So now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we've been throughout this session, we've done several episodes, and of course, today we are talking about the most important aspect. And this aspect is very interesting because, in one way or the other, we shall get to understand it deeply. Of course, we are saying today that you cannot be working with for others and expect to be rich. So understand that you can't be rich where you are working for others. So you can't be rich where you are selling out your time. You can't be rich when you have no anything on market other than you and your time. So ladies and gentlemen, we can only be wealthy, we can only be rich when we invest our time, we invest our resources in starting our own enterprises, and of course running them like entrepreneurs. So in most cases, people, 90% of people who have been so rich, they were entrepreneurs, people who started their enterprises and have gone ahead to run them to become super successful. We have only 10% of the world's population who has actually made themselves rich by working for others. So there are a few cases, and I don't think you want to bet yourself to be on that list. So it's better to understand today that it's going to be hard for you to become wealthy, to become successful when you're working for others. So it's very interesting. You should know that. So to begin with, you should only work for others for basically three reasons. One, to get experience, because the other thing you don't want is to learn how to do something or to do certain business at your own capital. So you may need to go and work for a certain company, or you work for someone whose work ethic and whose experience you admire, so that you, through cooperation and learning, you could also get the same work ethic or the same information or knowledge that you'd want from such person. So you need to be selective with whom you are working with, because 3/4 of our time we spend it at our workplace. So people whom we are working with will influence us greatly. So that's why we need to be conscious at the choice of place of work we choose, because they play a very big role in our adult development. So in short, you should only go to work for somebody or for a certain company whose work ethic or whose experience you admire. So you work to get experience. Secondly, you work to get connections, especially since we spend 3/4 of our time at a workplace. So we are going to tend to have friends whom we meet at our workplaces. So the friends we have got, by the way, if we could go deep into friends, are either our schoolmates or our classmates, people whom we have met at a certain platform or in a certain environment. So if we spend 3/4 of our time at a workplace, our adult time at a workplace, it means that most cases with the connection we are going to get are the people or we shall meet at a workplace. So if you are in a wrong workplace, chances are high that you are going to get also wrong networks. So the other second reason why you should work for others, you have failed. So we go to work for others for one big reason: to get networks or connections that will propel us to great heights of success when we choose to start running our own enterprises. So it's very important to know that the choice of work you make, the choice of workplace you make, makes a whole world of difference. So be conscious at every decision you make regarding whom and where you are working from. So that is very important. The third point is actually to raise capital in form of expertise, capital in form of money. Most cases we have to learn how to put aside some portion of money we shall use to invest to run our own enterprises, because you can't spend all the money and expect to get rich. So we should get into the workplace or to go to work for others with an aim of raising capital, so that we can use that little capital we shall have accumulated in our working for others to actually start and run our own enterprises. So it is very, very, very interesting. So there is also another misconception, like saying that some people who are earning less money from one place of work, and they go to work for this to make for a second job, A second job, for heaven's sake, will also not make you rich. In fact, it will get you more distracted. That's very important, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need to have a second job for the sake of getting rich. No, you only get second job maybe to amplify on your networks, maybe to increase on a little money you're earning so that you can save more and start your own enterprises. But if you are getting a second job with an intention of being rich, that's going to be a little bit difficult for you. So it's very interesting to know that. Now, time spent to make other people rich could also be spent to make yourself rich. So in short, we need to learn how to save our time and save our money. We shall talk about more saving about money in another part of this episode. It's going to be interesting. So in short, ladies and gentlemen, imagine how many hours you devote at your workplace and you are busy making someone rich. So the question is, the time you've spent there to make your boss or your employer, let it be the government or a big corporation, the owners of such a corporation, you are working hard, thinking deeply, working hard to make them rich. So if you could get a portion of your time you are devoting on that, maybe that extra time you would devote on thinking, reading, and learning from the people who are doing what you intend to do, you would use that specific time to become also to start building your wealth. So today I'm reminding you that you cannot be rich while you're working for others. Getting a second job will not solve the problem. If not, it will worsen the problem. So what does it make you rich? Making you rich means you need to understand the whole process of wealth creation. Wealth creation is actually, like we said in other episodes, if you missed them, is understanding what money is. And we said money is a medium of exchange, and in this case we exchange value to the marketplace, and once we exchange value to the marketplace, that value is exchanged for by the papers. We are given papers and we add value. So when we have less papers or we have less money, it means we also have less value in the marketplace. So if we understood this concept, it would help us make us rich. Another point about working for others to be rich is you need to know that when you are selling your time to your employer, you're not getting it back. When you sell all your time, you'll find you are left with none. So it's very interesting to know that. So why don't you sell your time to yourself? Why don't you devote the same effort, the same thinking you are devoting for the work you are doing to your own enterprise? Why can't you also start part-timing in it as you build strength and connection to start learning and doing the work you want to do? So as well as you need to also understand that at the end of the day, you need to invest in yourself. You are the source of everything. Spare time to read, get books, get magazines, get audio programs like this, get video programs to teach you the similar stuff you want to do. That is the only way to do. Information is power. You got to know that information is power. Learn and learn and learn until you start performing to your best, to your peak. So it's very interesting to know that working for others in any way will never make you rich. There are few cases where employees have gone ahead to be rich. So you cannot bet your whole life for that. Yes, as long as and you remember that also you have a limit at when you should be employed, because the employer is always looking for cheap labor, and remember, as you are aging, chances are high that your employer may no longer need you, may want some young people who are vibrant, and very soon you may get a termination letter chasing you away from work. You remember when COVID hit hard, most people were laid off. You might be the next one. But if you have an enterprise, chances are high that you may not fire yourself out. So long as you are adding value to the marketplace, you will continue being looked for. As well as there are some companies that closed in COVID, there are some that thrived in COVID because they understand the value of money. So, and what is money? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm reminding you today that you cannot be rich when you are working for others. And I'm not saying that you instantly resign what you're doing. No, continue working for others for three main reasons. The first one, you get experience, you get expertise, because you don't want to bet your money on learning. So let others teach you at your workplace. Secondly, you need to work for others actually to get connections or networks that may help you when you start running your business. Thirdly, you need to work for others to raise capital, because in most cases we start with no capital. So when we get a chance of working for a company or individuals who can give us money, and we put aside some amount of money, we could come out and actually invest that money into making more money. And at the end of the day, we shall become super successful.